This is London with MarketHedge. Let's pay attention to Bitcoin. Nice upshot here at $90,000. We'll talk about another level of resistance, guys. Can we complete the $100,000 is going to be essentially the theme of this quick TA. Shout out to the VIP. Want to shout out to Luke. Shout out to J Mac and shout out to Daniel in the back now. The 4-hourly RSI high is in the mix. It's in the works now. What is that line? That's going to be 70. Okay, RSI, relative strength index of 70 on the 4-hourly time frame. It's a natural level where, guys, the bears really like to pound in. So potential reversal, yes. With that said, let's look at the dynamics. Now, what happened over the last 24 hours? We hit into this level of resistance for this volatility expansion. We call these bells, right? Because they look like a bell formation. It's volatility increasing from the bulls on support, bears on resistance. Bulls with a double hop here down, double pivot down to support, and the bears typically here on resistance. These can be phenomenal shorts, although they're also known to wipe out the bears on the shorts on these levels, as sometimes we can just clear and move to the upside. That's why we say bells. We rock them to the upside, guys. In terms of this specific feature, though, let's look at, or this specific chart, let's look at this preceding line. And while it may be a good time and remember this move, by the way, anytime that you see these on our charts, absolutely remember these, because at times you'll see this crawl from the support up to the resistance, and it just kind of seems unstoppable. It's like inevitable. It's like gravity's pulling it up to this line of resistance. That's why we identify them and really like to trade them. This is London, former hedge fund owner. Let's discuss a few features as we look at that higher $100,000 target, okay? As we look at that higher target, let's first of all appreciate one thing that Bitcoin has satisfied in terms of a technical conformance that we're going to check off a list, saying this level of support, level of resistance. We had a bullish feature, if you guys will recall, that descending wedge, which typically is bullish. We typically see these move to the upside. Now, with that said, I pointed out right in this zone, you guys will recall, was at about $104,000. Unfortunately, when I pointed it out, but it is true. Give me credit for this, guys, and you'll have to if you rewind the tapes. That what? Well, this was going to be a value area. And why? Because if we were to fail, that is, if the bulls were to fail to move this to the upside and we saw a breach of this demand agreement, I call this a demand agreement with bulls on support, bears on resistance. And why is it a demand agreement? Because first of all, there's an expectation that we would move to the upside. Second of all, there is a particular literal, guys, on the chart, a literal calculable price, okay, that literally say time and price is going to be achievable, calculatable. This 94,500 is the result of the demand equation between bulls on support, the bears on resistance. So with that said, we always target this apex if we see, and this is not new, if we see a descending wedge that fails to the downside. So if you stacked orders at this level below, bottom line, congratulations, because we're at a near target completion to the upside. It's a nice move back up, and it's nice to see the technical conformance. What's noteworthy is the technical conformance of Bitcoin on this specific targeting of a descending wedge that fails to operate as it should, meaning it didn't go to the upside and it spilled to the downside. We'd love to see these recoveries to that apex. Now, as we look at the higher level of support, preceding support at this level around that 100,000, we do have a signal. We'll call this a signal with the histogram going to green on the daily. That in and of itself is an achievement. What are going to be some of the hurdles towards getting to the upside? Let's take a look at here we go. Let's take a look at our Bollinger Bands. I think it's going to be the best route for us to look at this in terms of what could be an impediment to the upside. Now, this kind of looks diagrammed out, almost a blueprint, if you will. We've got the upper band on the top side. We've got the lower Bollinger Band on the bottom side. This blue level is the 20 moving average for Bitcoin. That blue level is at 93,000. So call it 94,000, actually, 93,940. So right at 94,000. Clearly, this is going to be an attractive entry for the bears, right? Aside from that natural 4-hourly high RSI, which we're slamming into, which provided a perfect short thus far. And I mean perfect, guys, bam, bam, right on that hit into 70 on the RSI, relative strength index on the 4-hourly. Great shot there. But looking at the further hurdles that we're going to be facing, it's going to be that 93,900 or that 94,000 in this zone. And that's going to be that daily 20 moving average, which precedingly, if you'll just see this perfect hit, you can't ignore this. Recently, this perfect hit at in and around that 107,500 was just literally the ticket to the downside. So as we look at this at 93, 94,000, just be aware of this zone. And if you're shorting Bitcoin, hey, congratulations if you've been shorting it since the top. And you guys know that's just a natural entry. Definitely a hurdle for the bulls to get to this level before we could ever, before we can register that $100,000. This is really going to be the next hurdle that we can get to. Now, in terms of trades, guys, it was nice to see the bulls recoup this fan dynamic, which was really the legitimacy that we saw in terms of a reversal, was the bulls being able to, if we'll just look at this real quickly again to revisit, was the bulls being able to reverse this fan dynamic just a bit here. Each and every level that was stepped down, yeah, the bulls started to traject up, and they've done it one more level here. So the next stop on the next level up would be about that 90, I want to say 96,200. Yeah, 96,200. Let me zoom in just a bit, make sure I'm on that. Yeah, 90. It's going to be 95,200. That 95,200 is going to be that next level to go. So it's going to be up above actually that specific daily 20 moving average. So from here on out, let's count that as a target, and a hurdle is going to be the specific daily on the 93. Let's call that 94. I think that's a little more conservative and closer to the neighborhood of current price action for Bitcoin. So stick on that 9,400 if you're looking for an entry short. Honestly, if you're paying enough attention to that 4-hourly high RSI, that's the immediate hurdle. With that said, guys, it's been a nice trip from the low to the high, and as we encountered the 4-hourly RSI from even this zone, you see the value opportunity in that all of this lower price action has recovered. So Bitcoin is trading extremely well on the 4-hourly low, and now we see high RSIs. This is London with MarketHedge. Let's keep things rolling a bit in terms of the week, and let's just see where we can get, guys, in terms of this hurdle is going to be the key. It's going to be the rainmaker. It's going to be the, guys, I don't want to say the nail in the coffin, but it's just an opportunity for bears to push south if they want to. We didn't get a drop yesterday. So in terms of the trades, yeah, I've got some interest going to the upside in this specific account. Nothing huge, but nice to see some positive price action. This is London with MarketHedge. Looking forward to seeing any of your input technically. If you've got some additional input, let me know in the comments. This being the primary feature, which is just nice to see the green histogram on the MACD. Want to wish all of you guys just a great rest of your trade day. Let's dig in. Let's get serious. And let's get some trades in the back. J-Mac, Luke, and Daniel, let's get busy. This is London with MarketHedge.